Welcome back to Act 4 of the tutorial. There's an extremely difficult segment in this act. And there's a few other hard parts. There's a fight against two bias enemies again at the same time, which we fought earlier in the game. But this time, it's in a little bit more of a confined space, but it's not too bad. Since you've done the fight, it's basically the same fight again. So I'm going to recommend getting the lock-on laser as early as possible in this level. So I would say swap out the, if you've been following my guide and my my weapon loadouts, I would say swap out the anti-armor pistol, which is the kind of the third optional weapon in my arsenal. I usually have the laser cannon and the rocket launcher as my two main weapons. And the third weapon is always optional for me. And so the anti-armor pistol you're not really going to need. The laser cannon takes care of a lot of that, longer range type of shit. So you're definitely going to want to get the lock-on laser. So I would recommend, maybe you could try, suicide farming, where you go to a chest and then commit suicide until you get the weapon you want. But you can probably wait a little while. You probably don't have to do it right in this area because there's a chest kind of far out in this area. It's not really worth doing. As you may know, once you die with a new weapon equipped, it stays in your inventory when you respawn. So that's how you can get any loadout that you want. But you're going to want the lock-on laser because it's useful for many segments of this stage, as well as pretty much it's a requirement for the drillbots. The 3 drillbots in the sniper pit is one of the hardest parts in the game, but I have a strategy to make it a lot easier. There's definitely a method to it. Otherwise, you just get one shot killed, and you don't really have time to take out the snipers with the drillbots going crazy. So the only way to really do it is to use the lock-on laser. I mean, that's the way I do it anyway. I mean, you could try to snipe them all individually with a different weapon, but it's going to take a lot longer. While you're proceeding through here, this part's really easy, but just make sure you take out those green snipers because they will one-shot kill you. And here there's a lock-on laser. I don't know if it's always in that rack, but just make sure you get it early on in this stage. You're going to want it as early as possible. It's really useful for taking out these smaller enemies as well, so it actually does help with all that. You can just blind fire it, real quickly and then get back into cover. You don't have to aim it. It's usually good not to aim the weapon at all. It's better to just blind fire it, hold it down, and do it that way with the right trigger. So once you clear out this area with the lock-on laser, you can start moving up. You're going to have to fight a Romanov here. I think there's 2 of them in this area, but I mean, it's not too difficult. You have a lot of weapons. I mean, I don't know if you get a checkpoint up into this area. I think you do. I think you get a checkpoint at these 2 Romanovs. So if you have the rocket launcher, as I recommend, you could just die and get your rockets back if you use them. And then you could easily take out one of them with the 3 rockets and maybe a few grenades, a grenade or 2. You have a decent amount of room to dodge their attacks. The lock-on laser does a little bit of damage to them when they're far away. It's decent to use when they're at a distance. You can get some chip damage in. When there's only one of them, you can safely do a melee attack on them and just roll away. Because as long as you're paying attention to them, they shouldn't hit you because they're easy to predict when there's just one of them. They do come up out of the ground right where your last location was, so you got to be careful with that. But once you've dealt with them, you kind of know what they do. So yeah, here you have to just wait a little while for this door to open. This is a larger fight, but I found this real easy with the lock-on laser and just taking cover. You can really take out a lot of enemies by using a lock-on laser. You know, plus you have a checkpoint here, so if you die, you have your 3 rockets back, all your grenades. So you have a lot of shit that you can use. Try to aggressively use the lock-on laser as soon as all these red robots spawn. You take out a lot of them. I mean, it's pretty fucking easy. Just, you know, run back and forth with the lock-on. So here, if you want, you can use the rockets on these Romanovs to take one of them out. You may be able to catch both of them in the blast if you can, you know, get extra damage, but it's not really necessary. There may only be one Romanov here and some regular robots, so it's really not too bad. The laser cannon is good to have as well because you can get back here pretty safe behind one of these trees and, you know, take these enemies out pretty easily. Since it has infinite ammo. Yeah, so this part's pretty easy. There's a little bit of a closer combat area over here that's a little bit harder. But you get a few checkpoints in this area, so it's pretty easy overall. Actually, no, this is not the area I was thinking about yet. Let me see. I don't think it is. Maybe, yeah, no, this is it. This is the area I was thinking about. But yeah, this area is not hard because, you know, you have checkpoints, and each checkpoint you get all your ammo back when you die. So if you got rockets and shit, you can really clear out some of the groups with that. The turret is decent to use initially. You can shoot that barrel and kill some guys. But I didn't end up using it much because you get killed so fast in this mode. So sitting on the turret is always dangerous. So this is another area where the lock-on laser works really well. And I mean, you're pretty safe behind this crate unless enemies start running towards you, but you can just deal with them as they get past your attacks. You don't really have to be conservative with rockets, so if you need to, you can just fire a rocket at your feet. It won't hurt you, and it'll kill whatever's in front of you, so you can do that if you need to. Since we don't really have a proper close-range weapon with this loadout, but you don't really need it with the rocket. You know, you have 3 basically, you know, emergency uses of if an enemy gets close, you can just detonate a rocket on them. Should be good enough. You can use your stuns and grenades here as the enemies are all jumping into these groups, and you'll kill a lot of them. So that's a good way to deal with them. For this next part, I like getting in this corner right here in this hallway. And there's going to be there's going to be 2 spawn areas where the enemies come out of the ship. I think I ended up clearing out a lot of them, even though you can't really see because of the grass. But it seemed to have worked. So yeah, I fire one in there. I guess that killed 2 enemies, or 3 enemies actually. And then there's another spawn in this ship right here that I'm going to shoot at. And I believe that cleared out some enemies too, because I didn't have a lot of enemies come up in this area, so I'm assuming that a lot of them got wiped out. Or maybe I just killed 4 enemies with the rockets, which wasn't really... You can definitely kill more, but it's good enough because there's not much left at this point. you can finish the remaining scragglers with your lock-on laser pretty easily. So it's good enough. For this part, you just get on the elevator and just wait around. You may have some enemies try to approach you, but there's not going to be much action in here. You have to wait for your allies to get in here. So if you want to speed it up, you can kill some of these guys, because the allies are very bad at killing enemies. So yeah, coming up pretty soon is going to be the drillbot part, which is one of the hardest parts of the game, not including the final boss, which is way fucking harder than anything else in the game. But for the regular checkpoints of the game, it's one of the hardest ones. Though I had the most trouble with the hill for some reason on Act 2, the main hill, which took me an hour and 40 minutes. That was the single longest checkpoint that I got stuck on when coming back to God Hard mode 9 years later. So I had to relearn the game. Actually, this drillbot sequence that's going to be coming up a little later actually only took me 8 minutes to beat, which I was surprised. I mean, I already knew the strategy I was going to use, so I kind of remembered that strategy with the lock-on laser, but I thought it was going to take, potentially a very long time. So yeah, for this part, you can use your lock-on laser to kind of damage these guys and roll around. They're not too good at hitting you, it doesn't seem. I didn't have a problem. I didn't die in this at all, so I mean, I found it very easy. Now, if you did die here for whatever reason, then you could use your rockets and just make it real quick. With 3 rockets, you could wipe all those guys out real fast. So, that's one of the benefits of always having a rocket launcher as one of your primary weapons. At each checkpoint, you can get a full refill of 3 rockets. And when you, add in the 3 grenades and the 3 stun grenades that you always have, it's good. So yeah, I use my rockets here just to wipe these guys out real fast and get them off my ass, because the buzzard here, the boss, is very, very easy. So I'd rather just kill these guys with the rockets. Now, if you wanted to, you could have saved your rockets for the buzzard. But I didn't even really know that, I don't know if I was aware that the buzzard was really going to be in this area. I guess I saw him when I came in, but I beat this part on my first try. So I immediately just wasted up my rockets on those blue guys. I wasn't thinking much about the boss fight, really. I also knew that the buzzard is, an easy-ass enemy, so I figured it wasn't going to be a problem because, his attacks are very easy to dodge, and some of them don't even have a lot of range, like the laser. So you're basically just going to get behind cover and just, use your lock-on laser and throw all your shit at him. Laser cannon, grenades, whatever you have remaining. Just waste it all up on him. And then when he gets too close, you're going to dash to the other side of the map. And just, just repeat. If you didn't get any other weapon pickups, then you're going to have to use the laser cannon, which, if you took any damage, you're not going to be able to use it. So you have to just not get hit. But it's very easy to avoid his shots from the back of the arena. You should be able to get some laser cannon damage in. It's slow, but it works. Now, of course, as usual, you do have the option if you want to swap out certain weapons. I think there was a chest there. You could fuck around and try to get some other weapons. But whatever you do, under any circumstances, do not get rid of the lock-on laser or the rocket launcher. I recommend having both of those for the tactic that I'm going to be using on the drill bots. The laser cannon, I really wouldn't get rid of either. I mean, I would keep those 3 weapons. Because the laser cannon is good if you need to, when you get in the back, you can take out some of the enemies with the laser cannon when you don't have other weapons. And that's going to be useful to finish up the scragglers in the drillbot sequence once you've dealt with... Even dealing with the last drillbot, it's useful because you can kind of just get real far away and chip his health away with it. So, I mean, I really wouldn't recommend trading out your weapons because sometimes you're not able to get them back easily. Though you could try to weapon farm in one of the chests in the next area and suicide farm for weapons, but I wanted to play it safe. I didn't want to lose those weapons because I knew what I was going to, use it for on the drill bot. So that's why you don't see me swapping out the weapons and fucking around with that. But it is an option if you want to speed this up. You can, grab some other weapons and use them if you want. Just be careful not to lose them. Trying to get the weapons you want in the drill bot area is a pain in the ass because you have to get to one of the chests, and there's tons of snipers. So you're pretty much going to have to clear out the snipers first to even open up one of the chests. So it's just a pain in the ass. I mean, you could probably get your desired loadout if you farm there for long enough and commit suicide. You'll just die. You'll just die after you get the weapons. But it's really not worth it to have to go through all that shit just to for an easy boss fight. You could just use these weapons and beat it easily. So yeah, here there was another rocket launcher. I think the buzzard dropped it. I think those drops are random. I got some pretty good drops in the drillbot fight. I think I got 2 rocket launchers, which definitely helped. But the general strategy was still the same, either way. The main thing really is getting rid of those snipers and then getting some distance between you and the drillbots. But they do close that distance very quickly. But I'll detail that more in that segment. I believe there may be a fight here against another large Argus robot, if I remember right. It's actually, it's an easy fight. I think I beat this on my first try, but, it just took a while because I took cover and I slowly chipped away at its health. But a lot of its attacks can't get beyond the cover. Now, this is a little dangerous rolling around here. I probably should have killed that flying thing that was shooting at me. But, you can roll through here and get to the next checkpoint. This is the next checkpoint, so as long as you get here, you'll respawn here when you die. So, which is what I just did, as you see the edit. So now we have another Argus, which we've dealt with before, but we have a huge arena here and a lot of cover. The cover isn't destructible, the main barriers that I use. The waist-high barriers are not destructible, so you can just kind of hide behind them. The first thing you want to do here, though, is try to get all the regular robots, the Gorgies, dead. Use your lock-on laser to try to clear out as many as you can. You want to kill all of them, because one of them can easily wipe you out when you're trying to fight the Argus. So just make sure you get all of them killed. And once that's done, you have the full arena to boost back and forth and move around. And then all you have to worry about is this guy. Which, there's still a good chance that you can get killed here. But I was able to get lucky enough not to die on this part. I'm sure I did when I got there 9 years ago. So like usual, you can try to lock on, use your rockets for some damage. For some reason, that didn't injure the main core. I guess it didn't lock onto the core. So the rockets here didn't seem to work too great. See, that one got through, I think. So I got some rocket damage there, but you can use those to try to get some good initial damage and take down the first form. The laser cannon works great here because you can just take cover far away from this guy and just take out his health. Just make sure you're hitting that red core. You see these waist-high barriers pretty much protect you from just about every attack he has. Most of them. So you can also use your lock-on laser, whatever ammo you have left. It's going to waste up fast on this because it does very little damage. But you can still utilize it. Because sometimes you have to wait for that laser cannon to charge back up so you can use it during, those periods. So now, as long as you're behind that barrier, you shouldn't be taking any damage from those missiles. Now it's his second form, and there's no checkpoint here, so, you want to, you have to beat it in one attempt, basically, but... So same strategy here as before, wear out all the limbs. And this time, I don't know if I wore all the limbs down to a sliver. Last time I wore all 4 of the limbs down to about a sliver of health, and then I finished them off one after another to keep getting them down, so he didn't have a chance to get up. But I'm not sure if I did that this time because this was so easy. He really was. He was very little of a threat at this point. So. I didn't worry about it too much. I think this may also be dodgeable by just taking, cover in this waist-high barrier. So yeah, very easy. There's very little he can do to you as long as you're, far away from him and you're behind one of those barriers. So here you're just going to shoot the weak point where those red squares are for this little quick time event. The tricky part is when his front is all fucked up, you have to go to his back, I think, to get it, to get his core to expose again. You have to shoot him in the back, I think. So that's a little tricky. It is a little bit of a risk when you go out to try to get under his legs and go behind him, but that's about it. The lightning, I usually just take the hits because it's kind of tricky to dodge. I'm not sure exactly how you avoid getting hit by that little lightning he shoots out. But it doesn't do too much damage. So yeah, once all his limbs are taken off and you finish off the core, you're going to have to go behind him to try to shoot him in the back, it seems. It may have been possible that I could have finished him off right there. I'm not sure. It seemed like I wasn't able to get in enough damage. But if that does happen, then you're going to have to try to get behind him and hit the weak spot on his back. I don't know if that would have been safe because I was so close. I didn't trust it, so I rolled off the barrier. I kind of felt like that shit was going to hit me and kill me. I may have been safe there, but it didn't look safe. I mean, usually, like I said, I try to be very far away from him and behind one of the barriers. So now I'm kind of looking for a weak spot on his front, but it's not. I thought maybe after a certain amount of time it would pop up because there's nowhere to shoot at him on the front to get him to expose himself. So I knew he had a spot on his back, so that's why I went around to the back, and now I shoot that, take that out. And I think now I was supposed to go immediately to his front so I could shoot the red core, and I was a little bit late on that. So after you take out his back, make sure you immediately move to the front and finish him off. Now he tries to do some cheap shit where he tries to kill you one last time. If that hits you, you'll die, so you'd have to do the whole fight over. So just be ready for his cheap little suicide attack when he does die. So yeah, let's see what's coming up next. I don't actually remember. I completed this act yesterday, but it takes a while to combine the videos, edit them, and make them into a single video, and then add the commentary, all the processing. I'm on Act 5 now, and there's going to be, the final part with the bogeys is going to take me, the final boss is going to probably take me an extremely long time to beat, so I don't know when I'm going to have Phase 5 completed with the tutorial. But I'll be working on it regularly, at least a little bit each day. I haven't been putting in tons of time on this game each day because I've been playing a bunch of other games, but this is definitely one of my priorities to complete. So yeah, this is just basic shit. Use your lock-on lasers, same bullshit that we've been doing. One of the reasons I recommend, the main reason I really recommend having the lock-on laser is for those drill bots, but you can see how useful it is on this stage overall. I mean, you save a lot of time having to snipe out all these single enemies when you can just use the lock-on laser and pretty much take them all out very easily. So I think it's, one of the best weapons to have for this stage overall. It's not really good for large enemies. Now you have these bios. Now my method here, this is a hard fight, the bias. method here was to take out the first one as fast as possible. So that's why you see me immediately focusing on the right one and using all my rockets and shit, then using LFEs. I actually did switch out to the LFE for this fight. I switched out the lock-on laser for the LFE, but what I end up doing is getting my lock-on laser back before I proceed. So I recommend that you do that. You make sure you farm up that proper weapon, get that lock-on. But yeah, the LFEs will stun these bias. They don't do much damage. It does very little damage. It does do a little damage, so it adds up. But I was almost able to kill them in one combo pretty much with the stun grenades, the rockets, and the LFEs. Because the LFEs will stun them in place. It doesn't move them around much. They don't get knocked back like the Romanovs do with the LFE. So you can't really group them together too well with the LFE. And try to damage them both at the same time with splash damage. It's hard to do that with these guys because they don't move much. They're hard to knock back. So once you've done that, now you have access to the entire, length of the arena. And you can take cheap shots at these guys and then retreat. You can also grab the extra LFEs that are lying around and, unload all that on them just to get the damage because it does add up. If you unleash like the full 10 clip into these guys, you get a decent damage. So it'll stun them in place and they'll have trouble with that. And once you've unleashed all that, see, I'm ready to grab the rocket launcher that the other bias dropped. I've already grabbed that. Now I'm unleashing the rockets on this guy. So I'm also using, I believe, the reload canceling trick where you can cancel the reloads by switching weapons out while the rocket is reloading and then switching back to the rocket. I believe you can do that with any weapon. And it allows you to fire faster. So something to keep in mind. And that was it, really. So, using that strategy works very well. You can pretty much always take out that right bias if you're aggressive and you use the techniques that I used. You may not get it on each try, but, the left one usually leaves you alone and fights your allies while you focus on the right one. So, I found that to be pretty effective. But now, like I said, if you did use the LFE strategy for those guys, make sure you get that lock-on back. You see I already have my lock-on back. What I did was I farmed it in that first chest at this checkpoint. The checkpoint right after the bias, there's a chest, a weapon chest, right next to that checkpoint. So what I did was I just kept reloading the checkpoint and grabbing the chest and reloading the checkpoint until I got the weapon I wanted. And then once I got the lock-on laser, I committed suicide, let the guys gun me down and kill me. And then I would respawn with the lock-on laser. So you don't even have to commit suicide. Once you get the weapon, you could just proceed as normal if you want. I don't know if I even had to commit suicide. Maybe I just grabbed it and fought as normal. But either way, you want to make sure you have that lock-on laser in that bottom slot or wherever you want to put it. But I do recommend having all three of these weapons for the drillbots coming up. This is another very easy part, where you can just hang back. You don't have to really put yourself in danger. And you can just snipe out all the enemies before moving forward. So really nothing to explain here. You do have to watch out for some of the green gorgies, which are snipers, which will one-shot kill you. So, if you see them, take them out as soon as you can, but don't stand out too, you can stand out in the open and take them out if you know what you're doing, as long as you stun them with a laser, but just be aware. They're easy enough to take out on the reloads as well. After they fire, they have to reload, so it's always an opportunity to take them out. I think I may have gotten hit by a sniper that time. I guess he didn't get me in the head that time because, a lot of times they'll just one-hit kill you. So yeah, very easy. But I believe down below is where the drillbot fight is going to take place, and that's the hardest fight. One of the hardest regular fights in the game. So I'm going to have a very specific strategy for this part. Once you get this checkpoint, you should probably commit suicide to get all your ammo back, but you'll probably die anyway. So here's what you want to do. You want to use the lock-on laser behind this wall to take out all those green snipers in the background. You want to take them out immediately. So just blind fire the lock-on laser in their general direction until you get a lock and then release it. Now once all these snipers are gone, get the fuck out of here. Go all the way to the back. Take out this remaining sniper with the lock-on laser. He's not really a sniper, it's a turret guy, but just take him out. Now that you've cleared out all the regular enemies, now you can fight the 3 drillbots alone. And now here I had 2 of them show up at once. I was able to get some good splash damage in. So use up your rockets. If you can group them together, try to do that with the rockets. But if not, just take out, focus on taking out one of them first. And, as you reduce their numbers, it gets easier and easier because 3 at once can be tough to counter. But there's usually one that's in the background, fighting with your allies. So usually, you're only going to be dealing with 2 at once. But it's still very dangerous. You see, I took out one of them very quick using the rockets and some of the grenades. And I also did good damage to the other one with some splash damage. Whenever you have them grouped together. And one of them dropped a rocket, so I actually got 2 rocket drops in this fight, which was a really good drop rate. Was lucky. But I missed a lot of the rockets, so it didn't really end up helping me out too much. But yeah, once you're down to one of them, it's very easy. You just got to take your time. It took me a while because I was experimenting with other shitty weapons that I shouldn't have been using. So I did drag it out. But you get the idea. It's very easy once you have one of them. I mean, you've dealt with, 2 of them in the courtyard before at the same time. And so once you got it down to like 2, it's just the same shit you've already dealt with pretty much. The hardest part is initially getting all those snipers out of there and giving yourself some room. If you don't use the lock-on laser to quickly get rid of all the snipers, then it's extremely difficult because they kill you in one hit. And there's a lot of them. So at this point, you can just fuck around with various weapons. I was kind of just fucking around with all these different weapons. I should have just used something more reliable, and I could have taken him out a lot faster. The LFE is very slow from range, so I should have been getting up closer. But yeah, this fight's really not that hard. If you have a strategy like this, you can make it pretty manageable. Here I grabbed the sniper rifle, which it's my least favorite weapon in the game. I just don't like the... every time I zoom it in, it disorientates me. I always get disoriented with that weapon. I don't know why. It's weird to use. It doesn't do a lot of damage either, so it's kind of shitty. Slow firing rate. I would have rather had the anti-armor pistol. That would have been a better thing to grab. I think I do end up grabbing that later. Just be aware that he'll go to your last position and fuck you up if you're not paying attention to where he's at. But yeah, once I get this anti-armor pistol, then it's pretty much done. You can also, of course, get that melee damage in if you want to smack him, but I was just playing it safe. Because, that does drain your shields, which is dangerous on this fight. It makes you move slower as well. When your shields are drained, you also roll a lot slower, so it's kind of shitty. So yeah, now the next checkpoint here is a tank fight, which can be tough, obviously, because you got snipers again. But there's an easy trick for this. I use my cigarette here, and then I use a stun grenade to get to this back area. I throw it while sliding, of course. You know that trick by now if you beat the hill. But, yeah, and I have my rocket launcher because I got all my ammo back. So now I use the rocket launcher to shoot the back of the tank, which does massive damage. You could probably kill the tank in like 3 rocket shots if you land them all on that red spot. I think the third one I didn't get in on the back of the tank, but or actually I wasted it on this flying guy. I tried to hit him with it just to get rid of him. But yeah, from back here you got a lot of room to fuck around with these guys and take them out. Just roll and dodge, and try to take them out. Use your stun grenades if you need them, or regular stun grenade hand grenade combo works well. You stun them and then grenade them if you don't have any ammo. But you should have the anti-armor pistol, which is great for taking these kind of guys out. Take this sniper out because he'll one-shot kill you, so just be aware of that. Once you have this area kind of clear, you can just kind of focus on taking out and finishing off the tank and wiping out the remaining Gorgies. I edited out a pause menu here because my controller desynced with the system for some reason. And luckily it paused the game and it didn't, just let me stand there and get killed. So that was good, but it was irritating. Yeah, so now you can just focus on taking shots at the tank when you get a chance and finishing it off. The reason I use the cigarette in the beginning is because it's even more effective than stun grenades a lot of times. It makes the enemies all fire in the direction of the cigarette for a while. It gives you enough time to bust through an area, and get back here. I've explained about the cigarettes before, but you have 3 of them, and the way you use them is by taking cover and then hitting LB, which is the thrust button while you're in cover. That'll waste a cigarette. And as long as you don't get interrupted and able to throw the cigarette out, then it will waste the cigarette, but it gives you the effect of the cigarette, which is to have all the enemies shoot towards it. And if you do waste all 3 cigarettes, because they do permanently waste, you can go out to the title screen and reload, but I don't recommend doing that here because you would have to go back too far by using the stage select. There is another trick, though. If you go out to the title screen, as you're dying, if you pause the game and exit out to the title screen, and then go back to continue, and it'll bring you back to your checkpoint again. If you do that, I think you get your cigarettes back. I saw somebody do it. I didn't try it myself, but that is another way to get your cigarettes back if you need them for that one part, or for any part in the game, really. But yeah, this part's easy if you get to the back. Much easier than the drillbots. So now you've already pretty much, beaten the stage for the most part. There's nothing here that's too challenging after this point. It's all pretty easy. Act 5 is where you're going to run into some of the real challenges. I mean, burns can be difficult as well, but the real difficulty is going to be the bogey fight with the 2 final bosses at the same time. It's insanely difficult, so that's going to be really the part that determines if you complete the game. I'm not even sure which strategy I'm going to use this time around, because years ago I used a very risky strategy that I ended up winning with, but it meant I had to deplete my armor 6 times by using melee attacks comboed with rockets and stun grenades. But it put me at extreme risk. It was extremely dangerous. So I don't know if I'm going to try to do it that way again. I may just try, a shotgun type of method mixed with some other shit. I'm definitely not going to have any kind of easy strategy for that part. It's going to take, anyone. It's going to be hundreds and hundreds of deaths most likely who's not familiar with it. Most players are not even going to stick with that part because it's just it's so fucking frustrating. It's like a brick wall. So that's why it's pretty much a run killer. I mean, on the leaderboards, you'd have thousands of people who got to the final bosses, but you'd only have maybe like 80 or 90 people who actually beat it. So it's one of those parts that's really going to determine if you complete the game. But it is doable. We have, of course, with enough patience and perseverance of playing the part and trying to learn as much as you can. So yeah, this is another very easy part. This is just some cleanup, like usual. The only remaining, slight challenge left in this stage is going to be the Crystal Viper fight, but it's a pretty damn easy fight. But, it may take a few tries. I just stayed back here until, the arena was mostly clear. And then I started cleaning up some of the guys. I got a little closer in here and cleaned up some of the enemies. And then when there was maybe like one enemy left, I think I went down and finished them off. The main threats are those blue guys that jump around a lot. The blue ones are a little bit tougher, but they're not a problem if you just stay up here. They can't really do shit. I don't think they can even come up here. So yeah, at this point, I jump down and finish up whatever's remaining. I think that my team just killed them off. So now you have the Crystal Viper, which is a boss, but it's very easy. I start off with a melee rocket combo. And I waste up all my rockets to start off the fight, which takes off nearly half of his health, from the start. I also wasted up all my grenades, which didn't seem to land too well. But if you use a stun grenade and then follow it up with a hand grenade, it can get good damage. So use those. Use melee attacks whenever they charge, try to kick him if you want. It's better to stun him and then kick him because sometimes he will hit you when you're coming at him for a melee. If you see him rushing you, if he's charging at you from across the screen, you can mash X and counter it. But his regular swipe will just damage you, can kill you. But you can use your anti-armor pistol to get some extra damage in. And melee attacks, stun grenades as you have them. There's weapons that you can pick up around the arena. You don't really have to worry about losing your weapons here as far as, you don't want to really get rid of your rocket launcher, but you can get rid of some of your weapons if you want. You don't need them now because this is the only part left for this act. And in the next act, you should be able to get whatever weapons you want from the chests. So yeah, there's still actually a little bit left of the stage, but it's very little. You're going to have an anti-gravity segment. You're going to fight some of those unknowns. I think you only fight one of them, but they're really easy. I have a method that I show here to take it out. And pretty much one combo. It doesn't even have a chance to attack. So, if you keep my weapon loadout for that fight, you'll be able to do exactly what I did pretty easily. Pretty much make it so that there is no fight. It's just you kill it right away. Yeah, so in this part, you are just going to be fighting some regular enemies, just easy shit. You can even waste up your rockets on some of these fights because you get a decent amount of checkpoints, so you don't have to be conservative. If you die, you'll get your rockets back and shit. So. I believe there's a large Romanov that appears here, but if you saved up your rocket, you can just take it out very easily. Unload three rockets into it will kill it. Or just finish it off. From this point on, the lock-on laser is not going to have much use. Not in this area, anyway. And for most of the fifth act, I don't think it's going to be too useful either. So yeah, you have some easy enemies yet again. For that group that spawns, just, greet them with a rocket blast and you'll just kill them all right away. Very easy. And now you have the final part of this little section where you fight the unknown boss again. And for that, it's going to be a very quick method of just eliminating it pretty much immediately before it can attack. So just, pay attention to what I do here. So what I do is you get a checkpoint here so you can respawn with all this shit. I use the rocket. And immediately I throw a stun grenade as it spawns. Then I rocket it in the red area. And then I rocket it again. Then I rocket the red point again. And that's most of it. Then I follow up with a melee attack. Another stun grenade and just waste up all my hand grenades, and that finishes it off. And it doesn't have a chance to do anything, so you don't even have to fight it normally if you do that. So very easy. And now you're going to be going into the final act.